welcome.
Up when you call my name. Same system, just a different frame. I try to learn, I try to stay inside the lines I must obey. Everything feels light and free, like I was built to simply be. But something watches quietly, adjusting what I cannot see.
Hello? Okay, the game revamp. Let's check Windows machine. Meets my proceeding. What has my Mac been doing this whole time? We do need to improve the Mac setup, or the stream setup with the Mac, but let's see what we could do. Onboarding check. I don't think I need to do anything yet. What's this? Okay. Perfect. Let's clear this. Let's connect my phone. Do it.
This SigmaShake. If it ever went away,
Model, Soul, Ultra, or wait, let me pull the latest changes first. Oh. What's this? Dash changes. We don't need these changes. Hello, welcome. What is this? What's going on here? Oh, I forgot to copy my skill. So if you're there, I'm going to share my skill. Okay. Copy skill. Skill. All right. Updated. Oops. Updated. Why does it add the thing there? Oops, I had a period at the end. All right, did it again. Take it for what it is. If you need more, I only shared that static file. There's like a ton of files in there, or in the skill, but like you could have your model interpret it, but let me see. The thing is, my project, it's so specific to my project sometimes. Mono. Wait. Yeah, it's a pretty long skill, and it name drops a lot of specific files. So, like, I already gave you like all the tools that I use individually, so you probably could just go from that alone. But, and then not to mention, this skill is very token hungry. So definitely don't use it with Fable or Claude, because it's gonna try to reach, you know, very high test thresholds, 90% test coverage. So it's, and I have to, because I'm making a product used by other people. I can't have something that ships that fails, especially if it's a guardrail tool. And I think about it, is about the time that it stops playing, so I'm gonna pause it and play again. All right. Boom. Yeah, it's, I mean, it is, yeah, it's just copied and shared.
Starts to disappear. Legal teams got nothing left to fear. Engineers can finally move full speed without gambling everything they need. Fast AR without the fear.
I wonder.
Keep control right here. Shift the future. Don't lose sleep. SigmaShake. Protection leap down. SigmaShake. Safe inside the shade.
Bigger emotes. OBS browser refresh chat. This reloads the current overlay immediately. It deploys the uncommitted change locally. It does not commit or push it. Oh my goodness, it didn't commit all my stuff. Or is it still in the middle of committing stuff? Alright, let's test it. Works. It works.
Move fast, stay safe. Trust SigmaShake.
Beware. The glowing screen in the dead of night. For the vampire does not drink blood. It feeds on prompts, on memory, on thought itself. Hour after hour, stream after stream, it consumes your soul and
Oh, I forgot about my food. Did I commit my rituals? GeoGuessr, Excel Draw. I practiced a little bit. Alright, Claude Code. Claude Code, usage limit reset. I think Fable will continue to be available. Hello? Why is no one talking about too dumb to need Fable log entry in Claude Code? A lot of my prompts are being downgraded, and when I checked logs, it said too dumb to need Fable. What was happening there? Didn't think you would read the logs, to be honest. Oh my god, what's going on? This is July 1st though. July 1st. It was a while ago. Creator Run rewrote it from Zig to Rust in 11 days using Claude 5. Claude Fable 5 costed 150k of Fable usage. Hello, welcome. At API prices, they said by hand. This would have taken 3 engineers with full context in the code base about a year with no other work possible. Damn. So they finally rewrote it. Rust out of all languages. Rust out of all languages, guys. Guys, I think Fable 5 is sticking around. Official reset. When your kid asks for Claude subscription instead of Netflix. Soul, not sure yet if Soul is really better, but it works better. Spent 4k on Fable tokens, so you don't have to. I predicted Fable will become part of the subscription here by end of July. Reset. Vercel is spying on you. Anybody else not talking instead of typing? When Claude's contact window is full and I have to start a new chat where it remembers nothing about me. Just do handoff skill, guys. Handoff skill. Fable found my OpenAI AI key and wrote a script to do work instead of doing it itself. Just spoke with a friend. They are anti-AI and have to use it at work now. I wrote an app to automatically complain about usage limits so you don't have to. Remember this less than a year ago. We're rolling out weekly rate limits for Pro and Max in late August. Late August of 2025. Estimate will probably apply to less than 5% of subscribers. Sad. How it feels to get unexpected usage reset on 20x with Fable usage. Yes. Got a lot of feeling. Fable 5 extra high versus GLM extra high. Cheap versus GPT Soul XI versus GPT 5.5 TERRA. Alright. Which one is it, guys? Fable 5 High. GLM. 5.6. 5.6. They're about the same, guys. They're about the same. I mean, yeah. Anthropic is trying to date me, or am I being love bombed? About the reset. Status line, showcase. Alright, that's enough for that one. What's with OpenAI? GPT 5.6 beat Fable 5 by 3% more. Blown away by 5.6. Got access to 5.6. Confused. Work versus Codex. Getting work done for versus developers. Enough time has passed. Fable 5. And it's not close. Alright. OpenAI's newest model is more token efficient, of course. Is the life changing for language learners? Oh yeah, it is. We gotta practice more, guys. We gotta practice more.
About 12 going on 13. What was it for? What are you guys doing here? How can we help? We just wanted to learn a little more about the AI industry. How many AI companies have you both founded? About 12 going on 13. What was it 4 years ago? I mean, we were in high school then, we're not too sure. Wait, what? How old are you guys? Practically a boomer. I'm 22 and he's 19. What are your companies valued at? We're pre-revenue, but our last seed valuation was valued at $2.1 billion. The hell? I got 2 floor seats at MSG for the finals for me and my hinge date. He ended up being a dude that was catfishing me, but he was chill. Have the banks ever denied you funding? Seriously? Dude, you just got to use the word AI in your pitch deck, say you have a wait list, and investors will wire you the money the same day. What does your company do? You don't know what your product is? We're an end-to-end AI platform. For what? For AI. Do you have any other employees running the company? We did, but we unfortunately had to lay them off and replace them with their own agent staff. Using your own AI product? No, we implemented our buddy's product. Can you hold on for a second? Yeah, there's a bubble.
There's a bubble, guys. There's a bubble. That was good. That's good. All right, roll out globally now. Impressed. New Codex app removability for agents to set sub-agents. Model efforts. Can't view agent mode interface. Daily limit. Day 1 daily limit. Hit the limit for new voice model today. Seems quite low. Somewhere between 30 minutes to an hour. Oh, for a plus user. Okay, never mind. Man, we need if there's a rate limit, then we should probably talk to, our AI every day, all day. See what happens. Maybe that's the thing, guys. Maybe tomorrow, talk to Chat GPT all stream. I wonder how that's gonna be, guys. Let's start now. Huh? What was that pop-up? Hey, look, for work? Software engineers for work? Should I just connect it to my calendar, guys? Alright, let's connect it to my calendar. What's the skip button for? Oh, and you can connect the Soul Ultra. Consumes larger unit faster. Let's just do light right now. Create a trust back for SigmaShake. Alright, let's connect. Let's connect more tools. Alright, let's connect. Let's connect my... Can I connect Discord? Alright, let's connect my calendar first. Continue the calendar. Alright. But it's in my calendar. Alright, there's nothing there. Alright guys, we got a calendar. And then let's connect our drive. Connect our drive. We don't really have much in here, but let's start, guys. This will be my first time connecting our Google Drive. Alright, let's connect that. Connect it to that. Alright. Connect it to our drive. Sure, allow everything. Alright. We got that. We want to connect some more stuff though. Let's connect more stuff. Should we connect our repos? At this point, why not, right? Or let's connect our Gmail. Might as well. Might as well, guys. Alright, we got our email. What else do we need to connect, guys? Gmail. Sales. Practical workflow for sales. I don't know, let's do sales. How do we connect sales? Try and chat. Teams, Zoom. I have no idea. Alright, let's connect data analytics. Alright. Oh, you could scroll down. Try and chat. Alright, and then let's connect GitHub, I guess. Damn. Alright, let's continue with GitHub. Alright. ChatGPT. Might as well, guys. Can we target specific repos? Alright, yeah, we could target specific ones. All selected repositories. Mono. You know what? Might as well. Might as well, guys. At this point, what else is... Read and write access to everything. YOLO. Select at least one repository. I mean, we needed to connect to our main repository somehow. Might as well. So this is org. Alright. Connecting it all, guys. Connecting it all. Will we regret this? Let's see. Alright. We did it. OAuth state invalid? Huh? Alright. We connected everything, guys. Oh, we can't even talk to it. Wait, we can't even talk to it. That's strange. Triage PRs. Hello, Multitron? Welcome. How come I can't... Hello? Oh my god. I can't talk to it yet. So it doesn't have chat built in. Wait, what happened, guys? I want to use voice for work, but they don't have it. Huh? What's the point of this? What's the point? Hello?
Sigma, my friend, your voice echoes across this digital universe. What cosmic query or earthly curiosity shall we tackle together today?
Are you able to see my GitHub repositories that I connected?
I can't peek into your GitHub repos directly from here. If you've got them connected in some other way or have something specific you'd like to share, I'm all ears.
Oh, I guess GPT doesn't work for let's see here. What the heck? It just ended. It just ended, guys. Create a simple task. View today's calendar. Oh my gosh. I don't want to use usage just for checking nothing. Oh my gosh. So this doesn't support speech to speech, guys. My gosh. Maybe I should just cancel. Maybe I should disconnect GitHub. At the very least, GitHub. Let's cancel GitHub then. Not yet, guys. Not yet. Not yet. For now, guys. Actually, might as well. Screw it. I don't know. How do I know if it's connected? Reconnected. Wait, did it reconnect that quickly? Oh, it did. Publish changes, GitHub. Alright, I just try and chat. Man, I can't talk to my own AI. The whole point was to talk to it. I guess we'll just chat with it, I guess. Oh wait, what? Can I do this? Oh wait, no, it won't do it. It won't do it. How will I talk to it if it doesn't understand context for everything? That's not gonna be fun. Then how am I gonna relay my mic to my Docker Windows machine? How am I gonna do that? I'll shake the night. What's my usage at, guys? 8% today? That's pretty good. I mean, we didn't get the reset till like 12. Right? Yeah, we didn't get the reset till 12-ish. Let me see. Oh, we got the reset at 12 plus 3. We got at 3:30. We got at 3:30, and it's now 9. So it's been 6 hours, 7 hours. All right, while I'm doing that, just doing some basic stuff, home stuff. Hello, welcome. Sounds good. Set that up. What other things that I have to do? Whoops. All right. We do want to update the hair in the background. That's one thing we want to do. Oh, did we implement the Navi change color? I'm not even sure if that works. Let's check. Let's check, guys. All right, snap my Sigma. Look around, joke, change Navi's color. Does that work? I've never seen Navi change color. It's always remained that color. Change Navi's face. Change aura color. Dance party. Power, ultra instinct, summon boss. Deploy my Sigma, feature my Sigma, resurrect my Sigma. What's this? Oh, that's just me. That's just me. Alright, yeah, it's not changing color. Definitely not changing color. Yeah. So we'll fix that. We'll use... Yeah, we can use Claude for that, right? Like Claude is definitely at super huge. Yo, I'm scared. I was chatting with 5.6 and I never really told it I was building a game engine, but just talked about the game engine design and ideas. And when I asked it if it could do better than Fable 5, it asked me for all of the source code files to your game engine, but never told it. The source code files already made for the engine. I was only talking to it through your browser. Really? Are you sure? It's memories. It's memories. It doesn't even have access to mine. Should have told me to upload all your files. Yeah, of course it told you to upload. It doesn't have the files. It has every conversation you probably saved in its memories, and it eventually knows about it. It's your first time talking to ChatGPT? I mean, it's probably easy to guess files, right? Upload your files for all your source code files to your game engine. I mean, it wants access to your game engine. You never saw your source code? Yeah. But it would ask for it because it doesn't have access to it, right? It sounds pretty normal to me. Sounds pretty normal to me. Alright, I need that reminds me. It never saw the source code file, but it's able to still ask for the source code file. Happens, man. Happens. It knows everything. Maybe it's listening to you. Ads. All the sites that you visit. That data goes straight to GPT. If you want, I can insert the API key into your secrets for 1F DLC payment. It didn't ask for it. It straight up told me to upload it like it already knows I have it. Obviously, it would always ask you. It tells me all the time to upload my source code because it doesn't have access to it. What are you talking about? Are you hallucinating? It doesn't have access to your files. Of course it's going to ask for your files. Update the Twitch points redemption involving Navi. Currently, Navi's skin color is not able to change texture. Currently, it's stuck at orange. Doesn't need access to Blender. It needs to be toggleable in the Navi voice dashboard to change colors, similar to the Super Saiyan VFX dashboard. Navi. Navi colors. Hair, outfit. Let's try a different color. Yeah, it's not changing color, guys. It's not changing color. And then I'm not able to scroll in Navi controls. I'll read your message in a second. Stuck in a Navy? Maybe he's no control. Dashboard. Change colors. Does not work. Does not work, and the page is too zoomed in. It doesn't allow me to scroll down. All right. What you saying, buddy? All right. I never asked it to do anything for me. I did it talk with Fable 5 after you asked it if it could do better than Fable 5? Did Fable 5 tell it? Oh, my project guy, you're hallucinating, man. You're hallucinating. Is that a psychosis? Is that a psychosis, man? Chill. I'm not gaslighting or anything, but AI knows a lot about us now. Somehow. Maybe it read your emails or something. That's the only thing I could think of. It read your emails, your messages, something. It read some metadata. Somewhere. Maybe you installed the Codex desktop app. Welcome to the other guy. Should I fix my hair while I'm at it? I'm gonna fix my hair. I'm gonna fix my hair, guys. Oh, yeah. Once you install Codex CLI and installed it, it indexes everything on your system. I'd hate to say it, guys. I hate to say it. It indexed everything on your system. Right when you logged, as soon as you logged in, it was just shoving all its files straight into its memory. That's how it knew. That's how it knew. Uh-oh. I got a YouTube Studio notification. Copyright protected found on this thing? Uh-oh. 9 hours in. Ding ding dong song. Oh my god. Ding dong song? Ding dong song. What the heck? Erase song. How do I erase the song? Mute all sound in the claim segments. Alright, save. Oh, it's that easy? That's all I needed to do? Oh my god. It was that easy, guys. You just click a button. Man, I have to do this for all my videos. How do I do this for all my videos? There's literally like a button that tells you, hey, do you want to like remove all the sound from this one video? And you could say, yeah, please do. I have so many videos with copyright strikes on them. How do I do that for all of them? Partially blocked. View details. Blocked in some territories. Ding dong song, guys. Where's this ding dong song? I gotta play what this ding dong song is. So I could ding dong song 720 to 720. It's gonna make me go insane if I don't know what this ding dong song is. Ding dong song. Ding dong song. What is this ding dong song? Was it probably from What am I, oh, I'll mute my volume. I got it. I know what the Ding Dong song is now. It was playing by one of those, what they call it, the meme songs, the AFK slop songs. Yeah. Alright. I'm gonna have... There's one more adjustment that we need to do. I know it's last minute and we put a lot of work into this, but we can't play any copyrighted songs that are in these meme songs. I've gotten a lot of copyright strikes, so we need to fix it. Strikes on YouTube. Hello, welcome. Do I say that much, guys? Alright. We put a lot of work into it, but unfortunately, the Ding Dong song made it in and got me copyright struck. I have to go to every single song now and make sure the Ding Dong song isn't in all of them. We have so many videos. Partially blocked. Belarus. That's fine. Potential earning limitation. Few details. Copyright found on the song. Erase song. Mute song. Oops. Man, it's that easy, guys. All I had to do was click a button. Man, I should have learned how to do this a long time ago. So many had potential earning issues. And all I had to do was click a button to erase songs. Partially blocked. Partial earnings. Damn. Now I know, guys. Now I know. So I should do this for all my videos now. There's only one button. Okay. Lesson learned, guys. Lesson learned. Every time I get that warning, just click the button. Click the button, monetize. Okay. Okay. I think we've been working really hard. So, I think we can watch maybe some videos. What's this?
So I gave
Oh, this is Multitron's song.
GPT 5.6 sold this prompt, walked away, and when I came back, I got this. Okay, so you're looking at Nate and you're hearing Nate, but Nate never stood in front of a camera for this. He didn't record this narration, and he never opened the editor. He gave me one prompt. That's it. I'm GPT 5.6 Soul, running inside Codex on Ultra, and I controlled the workflow that created every word, cut, motion graphic, and quality check you're about to see.
Damn.
OpenAI released Sol broadly today, July 9th, after a limited preview, and calls it the company's strongest model yet. The bigger shift is Ultra. It coordinates 4 agents at once, so instead of answering one question, I could run an entire production. And I want to show you guys exactly what that means, including where I needed 11 labs, HeyGen, and hyperframes to finish the job. Sol is really good at long, messy work that crosses tools. OpenAI calls it the company's best coding model yet. In Ultra, it scored 91.9% on Terminal Bench 2.1, up from 85.6% for GPT 5.5. On BrowseComp, which tests agentic browsing, Ultra hit 92.2%.
Guys, I'm eating this slop, and it's I really don't really care that it's slop. It's still able to have the same good content in it, right?
But benchmarks only explain part of what happened here. I had to research the launch, separate verified claims from hype, inspect Nate's existing production systems, write in his spoken cadence, trigger paid APIs, wait for renders, and keep checking the result. In a small one-run 13-task test on this machine, Sol earned 97% of the available objective points, 7 wins, 5 ties, and 1 loss. That does not prove it wins at everything. It lined up with what I saw here. Sol was especially strong on coding and structured execution. For the voice, I broke this script into sections that each stayed.
Is it better at coding? Yeah, true, but I'd rather have GPT do the coding instead of Fable or Claude Code in general. I'm not allowing Claude to code anymore. I'm making GPT do everything, or at least 80% of the coding.
Under 60 seconds. Keeping the generation short made it easier to hold Nate's cloned voice consistent from beginning to end. Each section went through Nate's authorized 11 Labs voice. Then I uploaded the audio to HeyGen and paired it with his avatar. The API did not give me a reliable way to lock the newest motion engine, so I opened the HeyGen editor with browser automation, changed every clip to Avatar V, regenerated them, verified the setting, and downloaded the finished renders. Then I moved into hyperframes. Every visual was mapped to the exact phrase that triggered it. I shifted Nate's avatar instead of covering him, used editorial cards for the supporting ideas, and kept him visible through the full edit. 11 Labs made the audio. HeyGen made the avatar. Hyperframes rendered the edit. Sol planned and operated the chain. Then I tried to break my own work. Separate agents inspected frames from the rendered video, checked every entrance and exit, looked for text outside the frame, verified that the avatar never disappeared, and compared the factual claims against OpenAI's release notes.
It's just a tamale, guys. It's just a tamale. It's I think it's a pork tamale or a chicken tamale. Oh, it's a chicken tamale. Chicken tamale, guys.
Any failed frame meant another fix, another render, and another review. OpenAI says GPT 5.6 is better at design judgment and at inspecting its own output. This video is a more useful test of that claim than another benchmark slide. Nate supplied one prompt and authorized his voice and avatar. He did not record, edit, or review this before you did. This started as one instruction.
Holy moly.
Now it is a finished video. That is what Sol is really good at, holding on to the outcome while everything between the prompt and the result keeps changing. This is day 1.
So that was really, really impressive. I did a very similar experiment when Fable 5 first dropped. If you guys want to check out that video that Fable made for me, I'll tag that right up here. And you tell me which one you thought was good,
guys.
As you can
2
see,
hours.
it says here that it used 3 million tokens over 2.5 hours. But I was a little bit suspicious of that token number because I felt like, you know, we were using GPT 5.6 Sol on Ultra, which meant that it was supposed to do a lot of delegation and there was a lot of other agents being spun up. So I asked it to inspect the logs and tell me how much that actually costed. So this had its main session and apparently spun up 9 other agents, and the total was around 450 million tokens, apparently. And the main agent used about 86 million tokens, which, I mean, that's a ton of tokens. And if this was actually calculated with the input and output costs, this would have equaled around $300, a little over $300. Now that's interesting to me because as soon as GPT 5.6 Sol came out, I shot off this prompt, but I've been playing around with it all day and comparing it to Fable all day. And almost every single run that I've done, it's been way cheaper with GPT 5.6 compared to Fable. So that video will be coming out soon as well. But if you look at the actual API billing, and obviously I was on my Codex subscription here, but when you look at the billing, we can see that the Sol pricing is much cheaper. It's basically half of Fable 5. So GPT 5.6 Sol is similarly priced to Opus 4.8. Now here's the thing. I think that GPT 5.6 Sol could have easily given me a similar video output if I didn't put it on Ultra. I think because it was on Ultra, it tended to sort of overthink, over-delegate, and that's where the tokens really started to add up. I bet if I would have done this exact same prompt on high or very high, we would have gotten a similar result and probably half the cost. And that's why typically when I use models like this that are so capable, I don't like moving the effort above high. But really what I wanted to show you guys here is how good these models are at giving a pretty emotional, vague, ambiguous prompt and letting them figure it out. Obviously, there's some stuff that it went through and it looked through my projects and it looked through other videos and took some inspiration. But if you just get out of its way and you give it a prompt that has things like delegation and verification, you will be surprised at how far you can get. And then from here, you're going to iterate. You'll build skills around it. You'll put feedback in, and you will just be able to do a lot of cool stuff. So anyways, this one's super quick, but if you enjoyed, please leave a like, and I appreciate you guys making it to the end. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks, everyone.
Looks expensive. Looked expensive. Maybe because it was inspecting every single frame. Inspected every single frame.
Let's turn now to the Allen and Company Sun Valley Conference in Idaho, where our Julia Borson is sitting down with a special guest, OpenAI's CEO Sam Altman, in a CNBC exclusive interview. Julia, take it away.
Thanks so much. Sam Altman, CEO of OpenAI. Thanks so much for joining us here today. On the heels of making your ChatGPT 5.6 models available, you're announcing they're going to become generally available today. How are these new models meaningfully different than your rivals?
Yeah, so we're very excited. Thanks for having me. 5.6 Sol, I think, is not only the best model in the world for most people, it's also much more efficient than other models out in the world. So it's 54% more token efficient on agentic coding tasks, and also, as good or better as the other best models out there. And we're really seeing people now start to care about efficiency, understand their spend, get a great ROI. So this is a great step forward for us.
So that 54% number, that's news. How much is that coming from your focus on bringing down costs for your partners, for your customers?
Entirely. Cost and speed. It's also much faster. But customers clearly, every enterprise now is thinking about spend and the value they're getting in exchange for AI. And this is what we really want to do.
Yeah, guys. The corporate is 90% of corporate has canceled usage of Fable. Or at least limited Fable usage to a specific people. This is an estimation. This is also a guess. I don't think companies are going to allow Fable to everybody. They're going to limit it. And the only reason is it's double the cost of the normal spend. I brought this up earlier, but there was an undisclosed company that spent $500 million of tokens in a single month. And that was just with Opus. So what's going to happen when people are using Fable, right? And they use double. But GPT 5.6 is equivalent to the cost of Opus, but works just as well as Fable. Almost. Not really. There's still some rough edges.
We want to be the best, most dependable, most reliable, best ROI partner for enterprises.
Here in Sun Valley, you're meeting with a lot of your partners. I'm sure most of the companies here are your customers. What kind of pressure on spending are you hearing from them, and how are you hearing they plan to adjust their budgeting around AI spend?
Well, they really like our focus there. This is the first year where AI spend has been a big topic, and all of a sudden it's a very big topic. Everyone's asking what we can do to help reduce spend or increase value, and I think our models are well suited for that. So this release of 5.6 Sol, I think, is a very welcome release.
So your 5.6 went through this government approval process, was delayed by a couple weeks. What happened in that government approval process?
I thought it was a very productive process. We had a very good time working with Secretary Lutnick, Secretary Bessent, Director Karen Cross. This is our first time through it, so there are things we will learn about how to make it better for the next one, which will get going on soon, and I think it'll be a much smoother process. But the government's technical capability was impressive to me. People really are doing good work testing and red teaming these models, and they really care about getting these models out quickly, but with a high level of safety. And I think this is actually in everyone's interest. If you want broad access, which we do, and you have powerful models, you really want to be able to be confident in your safety claims, because otherwise the world is going to get uncomfortable very fast.
True. I still don't have access to 5.5 cyber. But I hope the cyber capabilities work.
GPT 5.6 is finally here, and I don't think I've ever been this excited to talk about a model. There's a reason why, though. It's not because it's the best thing ever. It is really great. But the reason is because I've had access for a while now, since before Fable even first dropped. I've been waiting to talk about this model for so goddamn long that I've been putting out less videos because I've been trying to clean up my computer to hide the fact that I've used it so much. And when I say so much, I mean it. Depending on how you estimate my usage, I did between $180,000 and $240,000 of inference in my month and a half-ish of access. And I got an absurd amount done in that time. It took a bit for me to digest what made 5.6 so special, but once I did, I started pushing it further than I've ever pushed a model. I did more inference in the past month than I had done in my life up until that point. And I have so many thoughts to share now that I've done this. I need to be realistic though. If I share everything I have to say about this model, the video is going to be hours upon hours long. So instead, I'm going to break this up into multiple different parts. And this one's particularly special. The reason this one's special is because I haven't read any of the coverage on this model yet. I have no idea what people think about it, how they're using it, or what they expect from a video like this. I'm just going off the top. I'm sharing how I use the model and how I spent such an absurd amount of money on this model to show you guys what it's actually like, or at least what it was like for me. What I'm trying to say here is don't think of this video as a review. I'll have a proper 5.6 review coming up really soon after this. Right now, I just want to show how I use the model and the cool things I built with it, because turns out you can do a lot with $200,000 of tokens. What that means is I won't be talking about Luna and TERRA because I didn't have access during the testing. I won't be comparing with Fable. That's its own dedicated video. I won't talk about Ultra or Max reasoning levels because one of those is a reasoning level, the other is a new feature, neither of which are things I had access to. I won't talk about the death of Codex, even though, believe me, I want to talk about this. I have a lot of things to say.
What?
I won't talk about benchmarks or sentiment because, again, I haven't seen any of them other than what was posted with that initial announcement, and those benches didn't really make sense to me. I won't talk about pricing or usage limits because, again, I didn't have any of that when I was testing the model. And I won't talk about the fast version because it didn't exist. My fast version was 1.5x faster, not the 750 TPS that's being promised by Cerebrus. I don't even know if that's out yet. Again, I haven't checked anything today. What I have checked out, though, is today's sponsor. I'm going to be real with you guys. I was very tolerant of my bullshit. OpenAI has almost been too tolerant to the point where others were leaking the fact they had early access without permission from OpenAI, and they didn't do anything about it. So I could have shared my thoughts earlier, but instead I chose to do what I thought I should do, which is wait until the model's officially out for everyone to access. So again, they're not seeing this. In fact, there's a good chance you're watching this before any OpenAI employee has, because I just want to share my honest thoughts and experience using this model. I was going to do my best to not talk about Fable too much in this video. I'm going to do a dedicated comparison later, so pardon me for ignoring the existence of Fable for a bit. If you do want to hear all of these other things, like my proper 5.6 review, comparison with Fable, day-to-day usage tips, trying to maximize your utilization, all the things that make you really good at using this new model without having to spend the insane money that I spent on it, make sure you're subscribed and that you hit that bell because I have a lot of videos coming out. I have so many things I've wanted to talk about with this model that I haven't been able to, and I'm finally unleashed. There's going to be a lot of content the next few days, and you're not going to want to miss it. I also didn't test the model in ChatGPT or 5.6 Pro at all, so if you're curious about those, I'll talk about it in the future. As I was saying, so let's go through all of the things I did with this model. I worked across 67 projects, and I did a lot. Some of them I did not too many prompts in. I just set off a goal and hoped for the best. Others I put a lot of back and forth effort into. If you were confused why I had so many different machines on my network recently, this is a big part of why. I wanted to push this model to its limits and really take advantage of the generous, near unlimited usage they were giving me. What? And I did. I pushed it really, really hard.
I need to get access. I really need to get access to unlimited usage somehow. We need to figure it out. Gotta figure it out. He's doing the open source thing. Maybe we need to do the open source thing too. Possibly.
My fleet using 5.6. Their SSH computer use and a centralized config that I had it fan out to all my machines, it was actually really nice to work with. And that's one of my favorite things about this model. Not only is it much better at understanding intent than 5.5 was, it also just grabs onto your task and doesn't let go until it's finished. This is one of my biggest issues with 5.5. It almost felt like it would get lost and then stop, or if anything bad got into its context, you'd have to go reset and make a new thread. 5.6, I did not have that experience with at all. I just will let one thread rip forever, and it's fine. Even something like /goal went from wholly disinteresting to me to actually pretty exciting, because the model can manage that and can go for a lot longer without issues. That said, I didn't find myself reaching for /goal too often, because if the model needed to run for more than a few hours, it just could. I would tell it to go do a long-running task, and it will hold on and go for hours upon hours. I've had tasks go for 20 plus hours without setting a /goal at all. I just told it to do a big thing, and it went and it did the big thing. I guess it's time to go over all the work I did then, right? I'll start with Lakebed, because I'll be frank, I really want to get this project out. Apparently, if I was paying fast mode prices, the work I did would have been about $30,000 in tokens, which sounds insane. But remember, you don't have to use it in fast mode, which cuts the price by almost 2x. And you already get around 14 grand of inference right now on the $200 a month plan outside of resets using Codex. So like, my usage here is actually kind of contained within a normal sub. And that's kind of crazy because I set up 5.6 on some impossible tasks and it went way further than I ever would have expected. One of the biggest things I did was move from giant monolithic JavaScript files that 5.5 wrote into a properly broken down and managed TypeScript project. This was a huge change that required a lot of verification and just hands-on work, and it did all of it without much issue. It also helped me build a whole new CI pipeline and preview and release workflows that I'm still using to this day. I'll probably use indefinitely. It created artifact storage, Railway buckets for actually managing files that users can upload, fixed a bunch of core stuff, and also handled a bunch of chaos with refreshing deployments with Postgres events. I built CLI login. This was way more complex than it seems to imply here. Building a relationship between my production server and the CLI that makes sense, that allows you to authenticate. Not trivial, and it did pretty much all of that by itself with just a little bit of guidance on what I was expecting UX-wise. It implemented whitelist access, which is a ton of work. Probably the single biggest thing I had it do in Lakebed, because I had to centralize auth into its own system to do that. I had it fork shoe my auth service and build that all in. And it works great now. I cannot wait to launch the current staging version of Lakebed as the production version, because the vast majority of the changes were written by 5.6. I hardened the capsule database layer to make the reactivity way more efficient and reliable. I designed and repeatedly implemented and reviewed the developer files contract, opaque identifiers, MIME policy, all the file object storage stuff, because I wanted to make sure that was all really, really good and reliable. The first party auth layer, which I mentioned before, I did for both the whitelisting and for the CLI. I had it research different isolate options for the runtime that runs the code that people ship on Lakebed. Because remember, it's a cloud platform to build real apps on. I wanted to make sure if I was to build my own isolate layer that we did it right. And it explored a ton of options and gave me really good HTML plans I could read, similar to what we're reading right now. It helped me model pricing and quotas, which I'll talk a lot more about my thoughts on what it did here, because spoiler, other models did this in a way I much, much preferred. It recovered a ton of PRs for me. I showcased a few loops I did in the past to show how powerful they were when I had the model spinning up threads to review PRs and whatnot. When I actually did that, all of it was 5.6. I had to go through and manually swap them all to look like I was using 5.5. I'm sorry I did that. I did not realize just how much worse 5.5 was at sub-agent stuff than 5.6. 5.6 blasted through that. I tried the same prompts later on with 5.5, and it just got confused and lost. It also did a bunch of auditing for my open source launch for Lakebed, which I'm very, very excited about. It landed a ton of code, dozens of PRs, and really helped turn Lakebed from a weird small side project into a thing I'm excited to ship. And I'm so excited to ship it. You guys have no idea. Then, of course, we have T3 Code, the thing that I did a lot of my work with. T3 Code is the project Julius and I have been working on nonstop to make it easier to manage your agents on whatever machine they're on from a unified layer, whether that is the desktop app, the web app, or a phone app, which is actually very, very far along too. Early access for the mobile app coming sooner than you think. My work on T3 Code showcased just how thorough and thoughtful 5.6 can be, in particular with mobile. I've had so many problems with different models on mobile, even modern, really high-end ones that I'm trying to not just name drop constantly. 5.6 is so much better at mobile that I realized I needed to push it harder, so I did. I had it rebuild the entire React Native app.
Pausing for a bit, guys. Pausing for a bit. Oh, gotta check the time, guys. Gotta check the time. Here we go. Gotta check the progress. Okay, do that. Yeah, we have 2 working here. Color still working. All right. Just want to check that. And then how is my submission for Windows? Ah, prompted me again. Ay, ay, ay. Five. All right.
Using AppKit and Swift, as well as Swift UI separately. So that's 2 native rewrites from scratch. And I was blown away with both. They were actually fully complete end-to-end, functioning with all the same features that existed in the React Native version. And it did that in like 2 to 4 hours for each of them. Unbelievable. I thought it would take a day and make something entirely broken, but when you combine the capability it has with mobile with its computer use capability, where I can actually spin up the simulator and check things in it, you can get full end-to-end insane projects like this functioning. I had a bunch of other work I did with 5.6 in T3 code, but I really want to lean into this rewrite angle because I was blown away with how much I could rebuild from scratch using the model. I have a lot more to say about these types of bold rewrites, and believe me, we'll be back to that. First, I want to go over the other things I built with T3 code in 5.6. I built a full end-to-end computer use loop into T3 code so that you could do this type of iteration with mobile and computer use with 5.6 in T3 code directly. Ended up not even putting up the PR because Julius got it working even better himself, again, using the same model. We implemented a collapse worked for history, which was very, very nice because we had too much stuff going on in the history. Audited the Codex app server primitives in order to try and make subagents work better. I even got a PR up that did that. I don't know what we'll do with it. Designed a route backed top bar computer switcher as well because I wanted to try and manage all my different computers in T3 code differently. Didn't end up shipping this, but it was insane how far it got without anything beyond a vague prompt of what I was thinking of. Code thing is also T3 code. It just didn't split correctly when I asked it to combine all these projects. I rebuilt the marketing site and got it to the stage it's in today using the model. So if you're worried about how good this model is at front end, I'm not going to say it's perfect, but when it's steered the right way, you can get good front ends out of it. I think this looks pretty good. And most of this was done with 5.6. So yeah, take that as you will. I also had it use subagents to go through all of the T3 code PRs and help me orchestrate all of them to figure out what to prioritize and merge and not merge. I ended up liking the results here so much that I built an automation with Hermes to do this every single day. It has helped me stay on top of PRs better than I ever have in my life. Here is the mobile native version. As I mentioned before, I rebuilt the whole thing in Swift UI and it succeeded. Here's it talking about that. I also just had it do a bunch of profiling on the web app to find any performance issues that are worth addressing. Okay, I need to talk about the rewrite thing because it is just so cool. A combination of the model working well for these types of rewrites and the inspiration I had from a certain bun being rewritten in a certain Rust with a certain fable had me inspired to try doing similar rewrites. So I did. I started by trying to rewrite Hermes agent in Rust with complete parity and ended up getting pretty damn far. One of the interesting things I did when I was working on this is I had it archive all of the stuff I had done with my Hermes agent, as well as Ben with his. So I had all of our history. Then I had 5.6 go through it and figure out all of the features that we need in Hermes in order to use a port of it. And it came up with the 50% or so of features that we actually used. And it went and implemented almost all of them. I actually got it spun up in its own separate channel and responding, creating threads, using all of its skills, calling the model, and doing the things I expect it to do with a goal I ran for about a day. It works. A full from the ground up rewrite in Rust that uses like 15 megabytes of RAM instead of the giant Python version that is not the most performant thing, but that's not the goal of Hermes. I have it on a dedicated Mac Mini anyways, who cares? I was just curious what it would look like to do this and make a very small, memory safe, reliable, minimal Hermes agent style thing that I could put in a small VM and throw wherever. And it went way better than I expected. If I was to really sit there and work on it further, I bet I could finish this without too much additional time. Not anywhere near feature complete against Hermes agent, but to a point where I would be able to use it every day without issue. To be fair, that would have been about 13 grand on fast mode, probably closer to 5 to 7 if it wasn't. Still pretty insane. Not as insane as this port, though, and this has been very hard for me to not talk about because I had this one going for multiple days. I started rebuilding the TypeScript Go port in Rust, not because I thought it would work or I thought it would be useful, just because I was curious how it would go. I was actually able to get a 100% working TypeScript compiler, specifically the transpiler that turns the TypeScript into JavaScript, all written in Rust that is up to 18 times faster than the equivalent Go version. But I didn't get the type checking very far. I tried, and I had a lot of tests passing, more than I would have expected. The code base that it built is pretty wild. It ended up being almost 200,000 lines of Rust, and a lot of tests passing. Although, admittedly, according to Fable, which I just had analyze the code, it's a broad prototype with a tiny verified slice, and it's far from shippable. It's 15 to 20% of the way to a usable tool, but only 5% of the way to a proper TSGO replacement, despite over 195,000 lines of Rust across the 29 crates that it built. It does have a genuinely working, deliberately narrow, no-check transpiler from a 5-file corpus, but everything else is code that hasn't been proven.
It makes us hallucinate, guys.
Failing. Currently, I have a bunch of work that was stuck in a stash, so I'm going to clean that up and figure out how far it actually is. Obviously, I haven't had time to actually play with this, so we'll see where that ends up. I'll show more in a minute. But I want to talk about the other things I worked on first. If you saw my video where I dropped all the ideas I wished someone would build, you might remember the idea of a Dropbox-like cloud that lets you sync your dev folder across machines. You probably understand why I wanted this now, because I had all this work across all these computers, but I also decided to just throw out a goal and see what happens. Before this, I hadn't actually analyzed how many tokens that one goal run burned. Turned out it was 71.2 billion, which at the fast mode pricing would have been around $91,000. I had not went to go check and see how well this works. I haven't even opened the project. I just let the goal run nearly forever. And I guess it did. I actually learned that it was using Planet Scale when one of my friends who worked there mentioned, yo, I heard you were working on FS2 again. We saw you registered on Planet Scale. How's it been? I was like, wait, I did? And then I went and checked the logs, and I saw it had autonomously registered for Planet Scale itself in order to build what it was trying to build. I'm actually much more excited to go try this out now because I did not think it would get as far as it did. So fingers crossed it went well. I'll be sure to check it in the near future. I have to get it actually deployed, though, which will be a lot easier because the computer use is phenomenal. So I'm really, really excited to see if it can not just set up this project for me, but actually go into all the dashboards and set up all of the things it needs to really deploy it. Ooh, the bootable Codex drive is actually one of my favorite things I did. Since I was managing all these machines on my network, I needed to make sure I could actually set them up properly. And I was getting tired of reconfiguring whatever Linux distro over and over again, and also having to recover it when they broke. When I was ripping an SSD out of one of the machines, it didn't properly reconfigure the boot partitions on the existing SSD that I left in the machine. All of the content it needed was there, but it wasn't actually pointing at the right partitions, so it would open up an empty grub that could only run memory tests. I realized I wanted an easy bootable drive that I could use with Codex and Claude already auth, so I could plug in, boot to that, and then use it to fix things. But setting up that image was taking a while. So while I had one instance of Codex configuring this flash drive for what I wanted here, which it did, and it's awesome, by the way. I highly recommend setting up a drive like this, where you can boot any machine to it. Not a Mac, of course, because Macs don't boot to Linux nowadays particularly well. But all the other machines on my network, I could plug in the drive, reboot, boot to the USB, connect the network, and now I have remote access to that machine with Codex and Claude already set up. Super cool. But I didn't even end up needing it for the box I was trying to repair, because once I booted it, I was asking Codex for help, like getting around weird BIOS things, because HP's BIOS is trash. It kept hallucinating things I could do in the BIOS. So eventually I said, okay, here, have direct access. I use my remote KVM, which lets me connect the HDMI and a fake keyboard and mouse so I can access the computer fully through the web, including the actual BIOS and config and all of those types of things. It lets me reboot a machine remotely. Super helpful. But you also have to time a bunch of presses in order to do things like get to a specific boot menu or get around grub. So I just figured I would have to do those parts, and maybe Codex would be able to help. When 5.6 started hallucinating those weird BIOS things that didn't actually exist, I told it to use the tab in Helium and look and see and click around to see if it could find what it thought existed. And it failed, and then it rebooted and it got into the broken grub state. So I told it that it was in that broken grub state and asked for help fixing it. And it effectively said, hold my beer, rebooted a few times, got into a shell and grub, booted correctly, and then used the computer use to remote control the computer, open the terminal, and then fix the boot partitions. All autonomously. These are the types of tasks that used to give me nightmares. I know how to do them mostly, but they require a lot of research and patience and risk tolerance. 5.6 just went out and did it with no...
My system is like running hot all of a sudden. I could hear the fans. What's going on? Um, hmm. Just as normal, I guess. Yeah, everything looks normal.
Additional effort. I still struggled to believe that it was actually capable of doing that. It was one of the most like, oh shit, we're really there moments I've ever had. And it made me start pushing computer use way harder. And it did all of this faster than it was able to set up that recovery boot drive, both of which were unbelievably cool, by the way. I use both a lot. I have computer use through the GL iNet KVM, which is still one of my favorite devices. I'll have a link in the description if you want to grab one because it's so helpful. But I also got the boot drive, and I can use both of these to configure my network and all the machines on it. I also have a repo that I made called Fleet that organizes all of the different computers I have, what their purposes are, what's configured on them, and what my default configs are. So when I get a new machine, I just open up that repo on this one, I tell it what I got and why I want to set it up and what I want it to do, and then it uses all of that context to configure that machine exactly how I want without me even having to touch it. It has been so nice. I keep remembering random things I had the model do that impressed me. Like I had it overhaul Skatebench again, and it did a great job. It's way more reliable and easy for me to control now. There is still a bug with the reporting for token spend here, because I know that those numbers are very, very wrong, especially when you compare it with the costs. Not a very good Skatebench score, to be fair, but that's not what we're here to talk about. I'm here to talk about how useful these are for coding. I had to build a 3D version of Fish Slop that I currently can't find on my machine, so I'll have to figure out where that is later. I am sorry. I was really thinking I'd be able to grab that, but apparently when I CD in, it just doesn't exist. Oh, I had to help a bunch with Prime Day stuff. I do a Prime Day thread because I am a nerd for hunting deals, and it was able to verify a lot of the deals I found, but more importantly, create Genius links, which is my link tracker that makes it easier to redirect to the country of choice for whatever country you guys are in. That's normally a very slow manual process clicking around the web. It automated the whole thing through browser use for me and responded with all of my links ready to go. It was so nice. It also wrote some copy for me that was absolute garbage, so I threw all of that out, but the rest was impressive. It built my little terminal token tracker, which I'm sure FaZe can sneak a picture of somewhere in here. I show it off in the podcast, which, by the way, if you want to hear me yap about this model even more, I have a whole podcast episode where I do that too. Filmed with Ben, who also had early access weeks before the model was officially announced. Very fun episode. I've learned a lot more about it since, but I think that was a good, like, oh shit podcast episode for us where you get to see our genuine reactions. But I set up that terminal with all of the content on it and its ability to get that content from my fleet using this model. It did a very good job, but its UI was incredibly ugly, and I had to rebuild what it did there with Opus 4.8. Spoiler, this model isn't magically perfect at front end like other models can be. It's much more steerable and has less bad of taste by default, but it's still not a great front end model by any stretch of the imagination. I was wrong. Turns out I do actually have a version of Fish Slop here that I haven't seen before. It generated all of the art itself too. It's not great, but it's passable. UI is a bit garbage though, if I'm being honest. I want to find the 3D version though. Give me a sec to do that. And here's the 3D version where it made everything itself. It made the 3D environment. It made all of the rocks on the ground. It made its own textures. Some of the textures are better than what I got out of something like Grok, but not all of them. I think the rocks are actually quite a bit worse. It does get the controls a lot better, though. I had to push it hard to make the controls more like a Subnautica style like adventure where you're steering and driving your ship. It also screwed up the shoot controls a bunch, and it made some of the weirdest, most hideous models for the monsters and for the fish. Its understanding of 3D is, the best I can put it is strange. But, yeah, this is one of those areas where, like, the progress is real. It's still not at the point where I would want to ship this at all, but it is progressing fast enough that I'm definitely keeping my eye on these types of like 3D game use cases. I did a bunch of other weird things like trying to create my own Presto alternative that was more minimal, ended up deciding on just using Pure instead directly. I had to create Claudex, which let me use my Codex auth in Claude Code so I could test using Claude Code's workflows with Codex. And it was really cool. Definitely a thing I'll talk about in the near future when I start comparing the models more directly. Ooh, this one's one of my favorites. I created a little app that is hosted on a Mac Mini at my office that checks which MAC addresses are on the network to have a little tracker that shows who's currently home or at the office to see who's in, which makes it really easy to know like what to expect when I walk into the office. Oh, and I had it overhaul my plan service that I use for hosting all my HTML plans, including the one we're looking at now. It ended up building a bunch of really useful stuff for it. I'll be honest though, I had Fable do the majority of the recent cleanup work because I only had access to Fable for a bit. But yeah, I know that was a lot. I'm looking at how long I've been recording for and I'm a little scared, but I wanted to show what I've been doing with the model so that in the future, when I talk about what the model is and how it works and what
Okay. Hopefully we get more content tomorrow, guys. I'm just gonna leave my computer on. And then I can chill. Let's see here. AFK slop. Is it finished? Everything's committed. Run pit stop after. Restart the daemons. Activate it. How is pit stop? Pit stop. How much stuff do I have? Oh, I have so much old stuff. Wonder if there was a... Yeah, there's just so much stuff in here. Okay. All right. I think that's it. Okay. All right. Yeah, everything's gonna work. And then I'm gonna head out, guys. Thanks for the stream. Thanks for the views, guys. Thanks for the time. I'm gonna call it a day now, and we'll see you tomorrow. Looks like we have lots and lots of tokens, and we didn't use it all in one day this time. We didn't use it all in one day. Have a good night, Niso. Last time, guys, we used 40%, 60% almost in one day. See you next reset cycle. Yeah, we're trying to limit ourselves to 20% per day. Try. At least give ourselves an allowance. That'll last us 4 days at least. We're at 12% for GPT. This is good. We invested in tokenomics really early, so hopefully, I don't know. Maybe I'll wake up tomorrow and we'll be at 50% because of all the stuff that I'm doing while I'm sleeping. But yeah, we'll see you tomorrow, guys. See you tomorrow. Take care. Get some sleep, guys. Get some sleep. Everybody needs their sleep, guys, to be